Tonight, we're going to take the opportunity to share with you some important information and plans about our staff and clergy. Earlier this year, the TBA leadership identified short and long-term clergy and staff transitions as an important priority for the next several years. We are so fortunate to have Rabbi Stern as our leader. He continues to be a source of strength and support, bringing thoughtfulness and passion into everything we do. Rabbi Stern's current contract continues into 2025. And thank God, Baruch Hashem, he is not going anywhere right now. We are looking at all of the alternatives and timelines for his future retirement as we focus on more imminent changes right now. So let's talk about what's in front of us. More immediately, in June of 2023, Susan Glickman will retire as TBA's cantorial soloist. Susan has served as our full-time cantorial leader for 15 years, and prior to that, as a variety of part-time capacities. She has dedicated herself to bringing people of all ages together to be active participants in music and prayer at TBA. Susan cares deeply about each and every person in our congregation and shows that compassion through her tireless work with our caring community. We are so appreciative of her many, many years of leadership and look forward to celebrating with her throughout the coming year with a variety of events and opportunities for the congregation to share your gratitude to Susan. Stay tuned for more information on those celebrations, and in the meantime, we are so grateful to have Susan's leadership for the next year. In addition, Iris Sonashine, who's right there on the screen for those of you who are in the room, our B'nai Mitzvah coordinator, will also be retiring in June of 2023. Iris has transformed our B'nai Mitzvah preparation to include opportunities for peer-to-peer collaboration, connections between tutoring and our school, and a finely honed process for individual tutoring. We are dedicated to providing continuity and ensuring the continuation of our high-quality, personalized B'nai Mitzvah program. In order to guide us through the next several years, we've assembled a small transition task force. I appointed our immediate past president, Stacy Schwartz, who couldn't be here today, to chair this important initiative. Along with Stacy and me, the team includes our treasurer, David Cohen, our vice president, James Nahirny, and two of our board members, Margot Rosenbach and Michelle Spitzkoff. We've met several times over the past year to understand our demographic and engagement trends, gain insight into the current staff, and understand best practices in transition management. With the guidance from the board and on important values and priorities, we've created a 2-year plan to address our needs. There are 3 major guiding principles to this plan. First, it is critical that we engage our current and prospective members of all ages. As we looked at our demographics trends, it is clear that our current membership is aging at a rate that is faster than it is being replaced by families with young children. This is in part due to the changing demographics of South Newton. It is also due to the national trends of declining synagogue affiliation. It has led us to some important priorities. We must continue to focus on retention of our members as they move through their life stages. And we must invigorate our engagement of prospective members, especially those with young children. Second, so much has changed over the past few years in the ways we participate in Jewish life. There is no going back. And we need to embrace these. Innovation and change are the cornerstone of our temple. And we need to embrace these values and seek out new ideas and perspectives to help us meet the needs of our community. Lastly, our personalized approach has been and continues to be a critical aspect of our synagogue identity. We're not a big box shul. Our staff and our clergy know us each personally. The ways that TBA helps usher us through our life stages is who we are and what we do best. With these guiding principles in mind, we have planned several changes to occur in the next 2 years. I will begin by sharing with you 2 important roles. In light of Susan's retirement, we will be conducting a search next year for a new cantorial leader. This role has many similarities and some differences to the responsibilities that Susan currently has. In a moment, Becky will share with you in more detail about the role. As we anticipate the many changes we will be experiencing, we want to be on the cutting edge. This is an important moment to think differently about our staff. I'm excited to let you know that we've decided to begun a search for an assistant rabbi. This is a new position for TBA, and one we feel will strengthen us in a variety of ways. This person will join our staff and clergy team and will share their commitment to innovation, to our offerings, and a personalized approach to outreach. The addition of an assistant rabbi focused on outreach, engagement, and innovation will better position us to address the demographic membership trends. It is not our intention that this person will be a successor to Rabbi Stern. Rather, we see value for this position for our community. Rabbi Stern has been and will continue to be an integral part of this process, and he can tell you himself, but not right now, that he looks forward to working with these new partners, in the years to come. With Rabbi Stern's experience and guidance, we believe this will create a strong and vital clergy team. The searches for cantorial leader and assistant rabbi will require us to think critically about our needs and wants for our staff, clergy, and leadership. Your voices, our congregation, are essential for that process. We will be launching a listening campaign that includes opportunities for one-on-one connection, small group discussions, and survey participation. We will tackle the question around what each of us value most about TBA and what we need from our staff, our clergy, and our leadership. We want to hear from you. We need to hear from you. I am grateful to have 2 fantastic search committee chairs leading the charge, Jamie Saltman and James Nahirny. Our cantorial search will be led by Jamie. As many of you are aware, he is an integral part to our music at TBA as our maestro and keyboard player. He's been a congregant for many years and was involved in previous cantorial searches. He has a strong understanding of musical leadership along with the needs of the congregation. James will be leading our assistant rabbi search with an eye to the broad needs of the community and a love for TBA. You'll hear a little bit more from James in a couple moments. We're extending invitations for these search committees so they can be comprised of congregants who represent different demographics, interests, and needs from the community. This process is a little daunting, but it's definitely exciting and challenging and will bring out the best in TBA. The transition team and I are happy to discuss with you in more detail at any time. Becky will now share with you a little bit about the staff changes coming in the next 2 years.
Before I delve more deeply into the two roles that Carol shared, I want to take a step back and walk you through the transitions for this coming year. As you are aware from Rabbi's speech, Miriam Refrano, our Assistant Director of Education, you're welcome, has moved back to Florida for personal reasons. She loves TBA, but she wanted to be in Florida for herself. Miriam has created an atmosphere of love and support for our kids and teens at TBA. She'll be working remotely at TBA for the next month before she transitions to her new role, so you can feel free to still contact her. She has her email still. Over the past 2 years, COVID has transformed the ways in which our education department operates. While we're sad about Miriam's departure, we use this as an opportunity to reevaluate our education department to create the optimal structure to provide high-quality education programs and connections for families with children and teens. Up on the slide momentarily. There we go. Up on the slide is an overview of our education staff structure for next year. We are thrilled that Heidi Baker will continue her role as Director of Education. Through shifts in staff support, Heidi will be able to dedicate more time to our K-12 programs and provide continuity between our ELC, religious school, and teen programs. Under her supervision, the program will have both full-time and part-time staff. Each of these staff members will have a unique portfolio, including administrative leadership, B'nai Mitzvah, ELC, educational support, and teens. I am pleased to let you know that we have hired David Zisson as our Youth Engagement Coordinator, and he's here tonight. David, will you just stand up? David has experience working with kids and teens in creative and interactive settings. He's engaging and warm, and we're looking forward to welcoming him into our community. Over the next 2 years, we will be restructuring our staff leadership team. As part of this transition, we have eliminated the position of Director of Membership, which was filled by Lori Rosen. We are deeply grateful to Lori for her years of dedication to TBA through her work with kids and adults. This decision was made looking at the Temple's financial position, the goals for staff and clergy restructuring over the next 2 years, and the current workflow and responsibilities of the staff. We're redistributing the administrative and programmatic responsibilities of that position among the current staff. Both Eileen Brooks and Heidi Baker will have increased presence in aspects of our programming and membership, and Jenna Walker will be taking on increased administrative duties. In looking at the coming year's staff structure and the upcoming additions to the staff the following year, we determined that this was the best path forward. Up on the slide in a moment, you'll see our full staff for next year. This is a strong team of veteran staff, new staff, staff who have changing roles and responsibilities. We are ready and eager to embrace this new structure and work together to support the TBA community. I'm going to read it because I'm guessing you can't read that. So our leadership team will include Rabbi, Susan, Heidi, Eileen, and me. On our education department, in addition to Heidi, has Rebecca, Iris, David, Gabby, and Stacy, who are increasing roles that they've had and sort of changing their responsibilities, but will be taking a more active role in our education department. And our operations, in addition to Eileen, will have Doug and Jenna. As Carol shared, over the next year, we'll be conducting 2 searches for new staff members. The cantorial leader will be Rabbi Stern's partner in prayer leadership, bringing music and spiritual presence to Shabbat, holidays, and life cycle events. While similar, this position differs from Susan's current role in some key ways. We determined that combining the roles of soloist and B'nai Mitzvah coordinator would best serve our congregation. Our new cantorial leader will absorb the responsibilities of B'nai Mitzvah coordination and tutoring previously filled by Iris. Rabbi Stern will continue to play a strong role in B'nai Mitzvah and continue to lead those services with our cantorial leader. The responsibility for the caring community and some programming will shift to the assistant rabbi to allow the appropriate time to devote to B'nai Mitzvah. The assistant rabbi will join the staff in a new position, melding together different responsibilities that have been in previous roles, as well as identifying areas for growth with a particular focus on membership. This person will work closely with the entire staff team to continue and strengthen the personalized approach of TBA. Up on the slide are the 4 main areas of work for the assistant rabbi. Conducting personal outreach to congregants, prospective members, and people in the community. Leading our caring community initiatives and working closely with Rabbi Stern to provide support to congregants in times of joy and need. Collaborating on innovative programming with our staff and lay leadership, and focusing on engagement, particularly but not exclusively of families with children. The organizational restructure over the next 2 years is significant and exciting. I'm deeply grateful to our staff team who shows a constant enthusiasm and desire to innovate and embrace change. They are dedicated every day to TBA, and these new additions in the years to come will continue to build on our strength. I'd like to invite up James, who is going to tell us a little bit more about the search process.
Yeah. Thank you, Rabbi. Thank you, Becky. Thank you, Carol. I'm James Naherney. I want to apologize, everybody, for the technical challenges. And I want to be the first to say to everybody online and here that I think the calls for impeachment were premature and a shanda, and that we should just accept the fact that these technical challenges happen and we move on. So, you've heard from Carol about why we are embarking on this transition plan. You've heard from Becky about what the plan is, and now I'm going to tell you about how we're going to get this done. We're going to throw a slide up, I believe. Impeach. I'm sorry, what? So inappropriate. There are 5 main areas to our search process. So, understanding best principles and practices in clergy searches, which we're all getting smart on. Learning from the congregation about the needs and wants of the congregation. Crafting a comprehensive job description and criteria for each of the roles. Interviewing candidates, and ultimately hiring and onboarding our new professionals. So Jamie Saltman and I will be in regular communication to ensure that these simultaneous searches are well coordinated. We are hiring 2 people who will work closely together, obviously, and with our team. It is essential that each of the committees includes congregants who represent the diversity of our synagogue in demographics, in experiences, and in opinions. We're bringing together the search committees now to begin this process, and we'll focus early this fall on gathering feedback and input from the congregation. Having the opportunity to hear from the congregation is critical to the success of these searches, and we hope you will share your thoughts with us in the coming year. In late fall, we will launch national searches with the help of the Union for Reform Judaism, along with other organizations, to bring in highly qualified candidates. The goal is to have these roles filled by the spring so that they can begin their jobs full-time in July of 2023. This will also allow for overlap with both Susan and Iris to provide a smooth transition. We will update the congregation regularly on our progress, including the findings from your feedback, updates on the interview process, and eventually the selection and hiring of candidates. In planning for these positions, we've determined that we will have approximately $75,000 to $100,000 in additional personnel expense beginning in fiscal year 23-24. There are many options for addressing this increase. We will look to conventional ways of handling this by continuing to manage our expenses prudently and through our non-operating sources of income, including those from our investment accounts and from fundraising. In addition, we are exploring novel, innovative avenues to meet these new costs, including growing our membership and changes in our revenue stream and structures to fill the gap. With a year before these changes hit our P&L, we are confident that we'll be able to meet the costs needed to bring this plan to fruition. While there is a budgetary impact, we believe this is an investment that will yield strong benefits for our community. I will say this is an exciting time for TBA as we embark on these transitions and additions, but it is certainly not without risk. I hope that you share my confidence and enthusiasm for our approach. Our success depends on the support and guidance of you, our congregation. We look forward to both engaging with you and reporting on our progress over the next year.